Hey, greetings everyone. It is GleeCon here. Happy Thanksgiving. We are piping in an early episode so we can get it in before all the family festivities and the cooking goes underway. Wanted to get some episode out there for you so I don't have to miss a day. On our last episode, we started off the 4th issue of the first volume. 4th out of 5 total issues for the World of Warcraft official magazine. We just kind of set up like what were some of the concept sketches and some of the reasons behind the decisions to make the Goblins and the Worgen the playable new races for Cataclysm when it came out. We've also been playing through, as what we're looking at, big beefy boy here, Muln. Used to be Earth Fury, but his when we switched servers that got stripped from him. But old Earth Fury is been wrapping up. He also switched from a tank spec to being a healer, so he's going through an identity crisis. But stay a while and listen as he continues to sort of have some success mopping the floor with the Stonetalon Mountains region. He was our lowest level character, and he is just 3.5 bars away from getting out of last place. He's tied for last now. Okay, so we do have Ordnance to pick up. I don't know why we don't have that before. Maybe we were too low level? No. We have it. It's just not being tracked on Questy, as is wont to happen sometimes. I hate that about Questy. There's a glitch that happens, as anyone in the longtime viewers of the show knows, where Questy will not populate chunks of the quests sometimes. See, there you go. We actually have these 4, which is still a little bit light. So what we have to go out to Ordnance. That's actually in Ashenvale. Calling into the reserves, that's going to take us to the Great Lift kind of area. We have to deliver a letter out there. I think we have the letter somewhere in our bag. Right there. We already read that. It's basically just one of those breadcrumb ones. So those vastly different. We also have Gorenzo's orders sitting in there right around the same time we do Gorenzo Wrenchwhistle's actual arm. So, I probably am not going to mess with Gorenzo. We're going to focus on the harpies today. In honor of the day in which millions of turkeys are slaughtered, we will go slaughter some turkey women in the harpies. It might not necessarily, DNA-wise, be turkey women, but that's what we will think of them today. We will stuff them with lightning bolts and, some flame shock. Maybe some earth-infused, rock-biting weapon punches. And that's the goal. So we have 28 harpies to kill. And then they will send us to kill an elite or so. So that is a little bit of a task. We're going to see how smoothly that run goes. That might take us most of our time today. So, yeah, I again, as always, I enjoy making this show. It's great. I'm gonna stay the course. The goal is to at some point get to a point where we are making content at a pace that is faster than the expansions come out, so that we could catch up. Otherwise, we're on track to do make a show that will take 20 years to complete. I think we'll get there. I really do, even though it does seem we're at the darkest right now because we're in this sort of interim kind of area where we have, I just couldn't resist. There's free leather on the ground, and my character can use it for sure. But, we have that trilogy of games coming out, which I'm going to sign up for the pre-order edition soon in the next couple days, which will I'm hoping let me get on the beta, and that might be an experience that we talk about sharing. They're also going to be dropping the Season of Discovery, I think it's called, or Mysteries, I can't remember. Talked about it in chat or in the comments with Cuzzy a little bit. And Cuzzy also brought to our attention a new book that's dropped. I haven't been monitoring the new drop rate in the files because we've been so deep, and I just assumed there's probably not a lot that's going to drop for historic timeline stuff. But it would appear that that is wrong, that there there's a new book basically covering probably the lead up and creation of the Drakthir race, which, let's face it, they need it. When we were doing our article yesterday, when they talked about why did we choose the Worgen and why did we choose the Goblin, well, a lot of the discussion are exact discussions that we've had on this channel. Which things would be cool, which ones are ripe for selection. Ooh, this guy wants Gorenzo Wrench Whistle. If he wants to do Gorenzo's orders, I would do that for sure. Let's pause and not get too much further away. Gorenzo's order. He might not want to do Gorenzo's orders, though. We'll kind of give him a second to respond, because... Alright, so we have Dad Party here. And it is a Dad Party whenever you throw us in. So... Oh, he's 29, too, so we'll be fine. So I will come over there, and this will allow us to... We're going to kind of pivot now. So instead of hitting the harpies, but this won't take us that long, especially with a 29 level warrior. I will... We'll do whatever. He said he'll help. And if nothing else, you know what? If he... not to say, I don't think he was. He said if he can't read the chat there, and it's probably tiny and the pink is a bad color. So, the guy posted in looking for, or just general chat, which is super early on a Thanksgiving morning. Does anyone want to knock off Gorenzo's order? Gorenzo Wrench Whistle. It's a tough quest. Like I said on the last time we played through a couple episodes back, depending on his positioning, and because of the straight respawn rate, it's, look, we got 2 Tauren Druids. It can be quite a pain, but this guy has res sickness with 8 minutes remaining. I mean, it'll take me a few. It's not going to take me 8 minutes to get there, but, so, yeah, we'll see. Now, yeah, this person has 8 minutes. I don't know that we want to do that. He's up there kind of on the edge, but if not, we can just go, because, I don't know, like, this guy's not even coming to us. He's... I mean, I'm appearing a little bit thirsty, but it's fine. He's kind of closer to the other one, so it is what it is. So if you remember the Gorenzo's orders, which is a stinking pain, that's the one where you have wave after wave of kobolds. It is annoying. So he said he's going to do Gorenzo first, then go turn in, then he'll go to the cave, and then he's going to hearth. So, whatever. So, basically, we're setting ourselves up for, there is a chance we could get pulled over on us, but I hope not. You know, I actually can't remember the last time I've done something where it was an obvious, where someone's like, no, I'm good. No, I have had people flake. I actually just had an annoying flake moment when I was playing Diablo 4. Man, it might have been yesterday. It feels like a million years ago. But basically there's an achievement on Diablo 4. So if you're not familiar, that game is broken down into seasons. They've been doing it since Diablo 3. A season is basically 3 months long-ish, because I think this current one started in mid-October. So October, November, December, yeah, and it ends kind of late January. So a little bit more than 3 months for a season. And I would imagine in the future, the seasons will be anywhere, probably, 3.5, 4 months long. So you'll get 3 a year. I think it would be good, but I mean, I guess they don't want to do this. I could go with longer seasons myself. But I could also see them just not doing that. Either making it a tight 3 months is fine, because what am I going to do? I mean, whatever. Okay, so we are... but anyway, so Diablo 4 includes PvP. The problem with the PvP is that there are just some straight busted PvP builds. And it's annoying. So, nothing around it. Like, it just is annoying. I'm going to switch to Flame Tongue, since we have a warrior. He's using the staff, too. I did that with my arms warrior also. This same staff that I have. We're just waiting for our other druid. Who is almost there? Moon Shawi. So let's. But anyway, so I don't like the PvP. I've done some. I mean, it's okay, but especially in seasonal. In Eternal, which is the non-seasonal realm, I can hold my own. I have some decent high-level characters, but man, in seasonal, they're just, if you didn't research or whatever change once the meta came, there are 2 to 3 just busted builds. They can. I'm almost at level 100 now, and I'm pretty geared up. Pretty solid, and I have a pretty tough build, like a bear, fortify, earthquake kind of build. And cool. And I get one-shotted. There's no competition. It's not a game. You're just one-shotted. So like, it's not like, ooh, what can I do differently? No, you just get one-shotted. So I guess I could really research and spec straight into PvP and figure out the defensive PvP things I'd want and stuff like that. But anyway, so I don't like it, and there's an achievement where you have to, if you kill 10 unique players in one PvP setting without dying,
For the Horde.
then you gain this kind of like buff called Mark of the Chosen or something like that. So we just kind of watching, making sure I'm not falling here. And so the problem is, it's very hard in any game to get 10 PvP kills without dying. You have to be good. It means that in this case you can't fight him. No, you can't. You gotta hope you don't run into a busted build. Now, if you have a teammate, sure. Could you team up and try to pull this off? Fine. But you can't, when you, to start getting these points, you not only have to go in PvP, you have to put yourselves, it's called like Mark of the Chosen or something like that. No, Blood Mark. And if you Blood Mark yourself, then everyone can attack you and you can't group up. So you start to get yourself in an annoying situation. Put the strollers. I think I replaced whatever buff he had on. Alright, so his wore off. So this is the bad-ish kind of position when he appears back here, because you don't have a lot of room. Now he does have these. They're like a gold though. I'm not gonna pay for it. But this is a decent spot. So, if you're ever looking for some interesting greens, there's some rare spawn greens that can come out of this. Alright, so... Deku. So the turn-in at least isn't at a town, it's right there, and then we'll go to the cave, not that bad. And just, you know, hopefully he does it. If not, I would even try it just with this moon shawi. Excuse me. So anyhow, it presents challenges. It's annoying to do this thing, and also everything else about Diablo, PvP is just supposed to be like a little fun thing on the side, but for Season 1 and Season 2, they've required that you participate in it. Now, not if you want to do... Not if you just want the main rewards, because you only have to do, like, about 85% of the content to get the rewards. But if you want to, I think there's like a hidden feat of strength each season for getting them all, which of course... So anyway, we basically... You have two choices. You have a few choices. You can mob deep and try your best, and plus you're hoping other people appear on the server.
What's up?
Spuddabob will want some sort of proof that Lorenzo's dead. I think his mechanical arm will probably
Look at that
do.
thing. It'd take a gnome to come up with something like that. I can't understand why you'd cut off an arm and replace it with that when you could just keep both arms and add a third. Gnomes, I tell you. At least
The back is
Lorenzo's
good.
out of commission. Hopefully that'll be enough proof, and Sputtervalve will assign me to one of the Tinkers Union workshops in Gadgetsan, or maybe even Undermine.
Alright, so there's no necessary quest pickup, but that cloak's a little bit better. Alright, and there's no further follow-up. That was the last of that chain. I couldn't remember. Now, the Gorenzo's orders, I do think this one takes us through a couple things. I don't know if Mushawi is going to want to play. Let's see. Maybe he will. Either or not, me and him can two-man it, this guy said. It's pretty easy. Well, it will be easy with the three of us. It is not easy at all. But it sounds like this guy soloed it, or whatever. So this is good. This is actually pretty good. We're taking, so we're going off script here a little bit. We're not doing what we planned, but we got to be, you know, we got to be opportunistic. We got to take care. So we're going to finish up our journeys with the Venture Co., which is good because then that leaves us with just a couple little things. We've got to, of course, take out, got to do calling in the reserves. Which, if you look at the map, right here is right there. It's not the one I'm thinking of, where you have to kind of go into the border of Desolus. It's not that one. Let's see what he's doing. I kind of lost my guys here. Ha 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 ha. Okay, so I guess we can start fighting our way in. Again, this will be easy peasy for us. It's okay. We got double staff fighting. We have a feral druid too, so that's fun. Now, as we've experienced multiple times, the trouble with this is the density of the kobolds. Excuse me. The respawn rate is quite high. So we have that to be worried about. That little so-and-so. But at 29, that guy's fine. Put the lightning back on. So all of us here. Excuse me. So we have to make it through the cave. Obviously, we're cutting through it like butter, but we have to sort of beeline to the right spot. And he said he's going to hearth. We could do that too. Not the worst idea we've ever had. Oh, great. I'll drop a little bit of defensive stuff for us. Just keep things going. So, I put my totems down. Not too shabby. We cleared the center part of the cave. I think we were... Gotta remember where... I think we kind of wrap around the bottom. Okay. They got me on my... going after me there. I don't know why they're picking me. I mean, between you guys, between doing everything with my wife as well, I have done this so much. So when we come back and we're doing everything again on Wrath, it's actually kind of like we are... gonna be interesting. But I'm just looking forward to a much cleaner experience. That's the sort of constant refining. And remember, as you know, my philosophy is that the point of the game is the journey. It's not the destination. Like, I'm a little bit concerned about our ability to see all the quests that come from doing the raids at the end, because there are some quests there. And it's going to be, because those are not dependent upon us. It's going to be all about Can we get into a guild that's doing stuff? I almost just let that poop the bed a little bit. So he's running in. Okay. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and drop our totems here. Okay, I'll go ahead and heal him too in just a second. Alright, so here's our quest. Alright, so...
You know, I was once the second most important person here at this site. That all changed
we're gonna
when
listen to
Lorenzo
him.
took over, fired my boss, Ziz Physics, and sent me down to work in the mines. Ziz told me to stay here to gather information, though. His new boss will pay us well if we can find out what Lorenzo's plans are. Lorenzo has ordered large amounts of this gold-green ore to be mined. I can get you...
We just gotta make sure that we heal these guys up. That's all. He's back to full, so that's good. That's the problem, not so much with our ability to not beat this or whatever. We just have to make sure we don't let him die. Oh, I never looted this guy up here. Or, yeah, I was gonna say, or we just missed it, but... So I believe there's 3 waves we've got to do. But yeah, if you remember, this is again Lorenzo. We already got his arm, so this is that stupid gnome that sends him in. And when Lorenzo took over, this guy, our Pisnik person, he dropped out of being second in command. And he's now doing scut work here, an extremely dangerous part, mining some stuff. He wants them to gather information. That's the reason why he said, okay, we're staying here to gather intel on Wrench Whistle. That's what Ziz Physics told him to do. So he is he's doing it. He's taking one for the team. So that he's taking one for the team so that they can kind of try to figure out what the heck is this weird evil Venture Co gnome doing. And the geomancer just said, I think the sounds came from over here. We better check it out. And I think we have one more wave. But basically, he's like, I don't know why, but they need this specific ore. And I can dig some out so you can bring the sample to Ziz Physics. And maybe that will help him figure out what's going on. It's a goldish, greenish ore. So whatever that is. And what's dumb is that this is considered a level 22 quest. And not even a 22 group quest. That's just one of the big... If they're going to fix things like, for instance, perhaps changing the drop rate on the Incendicite, unless, again, Incendite quest that we did last episode, or else, again, I've been seeing it in chat, in Reddit a lot, or in Jesus. I'm getting this. Yeah, so I was talking about getting screwed. So basically, instead of doing all that, you could cheese that achievement, because if you kill the same player, instead of needing to get 10 separate unique kills, you can kill the same person over and over again, but you need about almost 50, like 48 or something kills. So that's a whole different sitch. Cool. All right, that should be the last wave. He should ding anytime now. I've seen it happen. It just all depends. So we'll see. He did get the smoky ingots. He's trying to make that armor for himself, I believe. He's got the smoky iron ingots. So, my goal has then been to, well, figure out, can I find someone that wants to cheese it with me? But I don't have any friends on PS, like no one in my actual friends list that play Diablo a lot. There's not a lot of crossover for me between like my WoW friends and my Diablo 4 friends. I don't know. I don't know why. I guess it's just not the same group or whatever. Like, I don't know. Sure, they're very different kind of games, but maybe I'm rare in loving both. Like I know we've talked about some of you guys not as much interested in Diablo. There we go. Alright, so now we talked to him.
Thanks, adventurer. It was looking a little dicey there for a second, and we've probably drawn far too much attention to ourselves. The important part is that we have the ore sample, though, and we should get it to Ziz as soon as possible. I guess I'd better think about getting out of here also.
I dinged.
It won't take long for word of what happened here to spread to the higher-ups, and I'm sure they wouldn't take too kindly to meeting me again. I'll sneak out and meet with Ziz. Hopefully he'll be able to find me a new job. I'll try and clean up this mess a little, but you should take the ore sample to Ziz right away. He told me that he'd set up camp somewhere on the western side of Windshear Crag.
Alright,
Good
so
luck.
this is in some ways also yet another breadcrumb over to Ziz Physics. So if you hadn't managed to get in there, this is another way that you could do it. We did level up, so that's good. I don't think that we necessarily... we didn't get any real quest rewards, but maybe you get some from turning it in. Because now we have the second half of Lorenzo's orders, so we'll get like a green item or something. Again, not worth the actual stress of doing it. We did ding, I'll have to look at my talents and the walk back. And I feel like it's possible that, when we turn this in, it's going to lead us into another quest. So that's good. So because we got a little group, only halfway into our episode, we've already basically finished clearing out the Venture Co. Finished that quest line. I like it. It's a little bit less annoying as Horde than it is. It was still annoying, but this is definitely a more Horde-friendly zone if you're not trying to do everything like I am, and you're making decisions. I would say this is one. Go ahead and do it if you're the Horde. Feel free to skip if you're Alliance. It's a pain in the butt. It's a pain in the butt to get here. No matter which starting race you are. There's slightly less quests. The quests that you do start require more hopping around from zone to zone. Yeah, just not... Can't recommend, really. Particularly the one that makes you go get all the bombs and everything. That one is really annoying. This cave is a pain. Everything about this, other than the fact that the quests are kind of lumped together nicely, and they will require a decent amount of grinding. Yeah, look at the respawn rate of this. It's like a full freaking caper to get in and out of this cave. Oh!
Victory or death!
Is it worse than what he had? Maybe, it's possible. 10452. That's a warrior belt. I can't use it. That's just gonna go.
Stay strong.
Alright, so I don't even know what to do with that, because if you think about it, I really think, our warrior, I think he either has that exact same belt, or his belt is better. Because if Varrock's belt is not better, sure, we'll send it to Varrock, but I actually think he might have that exact same belt. I'll have to check. Stormbringer belt 10452. I mean, it's a pretty solid belt. Only level 15. But otherwise, that's an auction house right there. That's an auction house item for sure. And we could perhaps, that's like maybe even a twinking style belt. So I would research that. And I'm 26, so I'm going to need to go to a capital anyway soon. Where was I at? I could do the effect of my my healing stream totems, but we're talking about 5% of 6 mana. Like, that's a third of a point. Like, overall through the life of the thing, that might heal everybody a couple more hit points. So it's not good enough for me yet. I do think the mana cost of my totems being reduced is also useful. The crit effect of my healing spells and lightning spells, so that's actually going to be good for soloing. Alright, so maybe I'll go title mastery for now. Alright, and we'll turn this in. So...
Hey, how you doing?
Something I can help you with?
Ah, I knew that I did the right
Boots I
thing
can't
by
use.
telling Piznik to stay behind. I'm sure the engineers in Undermine will be most interested to look at this. Of course, I'll want to keep a little piece for myself, but what they don't know won't hurt them. Yes?
Alright, so he gave us some boots, and he doesn't pick anything up either, and he doesn't tell us anything about what that ore is. We really don't know. It's more of a overall, an overall booty, like, just breadcrumbish kind of thing. I don't know why I threw the word booty in there, you know. Alright, so, that, we still have a pretty solid chunk, and I think, we could at least take it to the harpies for a little while. Why the heck not, you know? We got plenty of bag space going on. I don't even think we have to call it in. Okay, so, he can do whatever he wants, but I was going to throw that out there. He can stay with me if he wants to, stick it out. Otherwise, I'm going to disband our group. But it doesn't hurt me, since this is a kill quest. It doesn't hurt to have it. But we do need to level up. We need those powers. I'm optimistic. So we have this Stormbringer belt. That's going to be something I do, we do, whatever. Perhaps off camera a little bit. I don't know. Let's see. What? Stormbringer belt going rate. I wonder if... See, I don't have... Oops. I did not want to run into this camp. Okay, so he's good. That's fine. I don't mind messing around on my own. Hard to say. Yeah, it's a rare drop. If I do have the Stormbringer belt or better with Varrock, then good on me. So Twink Warrior. Useless to my horde. I have... Okay, so yeah... Alright, so I guess I would just look and see... I'll check the auction house. I don't know how to... Yeah, I'll have to see. As far as twinking goes, it's not... It looks like it's not the exact ultimate. Just a lot of people talking unhelpfully about what is available. Like, where did they get theirs? That's cool. Doesn't help me. So let's see if we have... I'm interested in some data on what it's going for. I guess you'd have to check prices. Okay, I don't know what that Nexus hub is. I'm pretty sure I've used this before. I'm pretty sure. No, the easiest way is to just look and see, is there one on the server? But there might not be. Dang it. Getting too wild. Researching, trying to do researching at the same time. Missed my turn. That happens to me in real life as well. 184 gold? Dang. I'm gonna put it up there, but if that really were to sell for that, because that would mean it's like a twink. A straight twink belt. Is this for real? On average, there's only 3 at a time. So first what I'll do is check to see if it's good for my alt. But if I could really get 184 gold for this, I'd be rolling in the cash. The Mole would be a baller at that point. I can't even envision a world where I have 180 gold. So that's cool. It's down 64% too. So it's currently rocking barely more than a third of its price. Alright, so here is where we need to switch over. We do need some kills here. Let's go for it. So these are the generic Blood Fury Harpies. These are the easiest of the 4 types we have to kill. The easiest to find. But yeah, so we'll play the auction house with that. That's dope. And again, we need 7 of each type of harpy. I don't want basilisks. Okay. Typically the harpies, I think, start to run. So we gotta pay that some mind too. 24. I don't feel like I'm hitting that hard right now. But we did run through this. See, it's starting to run. So we could frost shock it when we needed to. Yeah, we're about 15-20 minutes left on this episode. So we're just gonna, go as deep into this valley as we can. Do need some more moves. But I don't want to make the run all the way out back to Orgrimmar. I could do that off camera. I could play around with some of that stuff off camera. Master Chief, you're here. That's cool. A level 35 Undead Warrior. It's a little bit high for this region, but okay. I am happy I did not pull that fire element. Alright, so we've killed 2 out of our 28 that we need to kill, and I would imagine that we will be killing more things than 28 because this valley is densely populated. I'm happy. I really didn't expect... I expected today to be a ghost town. Maybe a lot of people have today off, so we're kind of avoiding some of that fate. But I really, truly expected to have nothing out there. Because I know when I leave in the next 15 minutes or so, that is the last the video game world is going to see of me today. I was mapping out my oven times and everything I have to do, and I have a minimum. If I was like a machine that never left the kitchen, it would take me 6 straight hours to cook today. As it stands, if I budget myself 8 hours, it should be okay. So that's another one of those harpies. Because, so when I go out there, what I'm going to do, I'll break it down for you. This is what Thanksgiving looks like for GleeCon. First thing I'm going to do is go peel the sweet potatoes and get them boiling. And then while they're boiling, which that's going to take approximately half an hour to pull those combined things off, I will be prepping the pumpkin pie and preheating the oven, because the pumpkin pie goes in hot. Then you drop the oven temperature down and cook it for most of its time. So while I'll be multitasking those two things, when we drop the temp on the pumpkin pie, I will hopefully have already done, mashed, and set up the... See, that's the elite. We will need to kill that level 26 elite at some point. There's an ambusher. So that's the second most powerful thing. See if we can get it. I don't want to pull it away, because if we pull that Blood Fury Ripper, that's essentially a wipe right there. Yeah, the goal is to have those two going on simultaneously, because then they can be cooking. The sweet potato casserole, which I'll do like a pecan crumb topping, because my wife hates marshmallows. She despises them. So sometimes she'll just pick it to the side or whatever. Like, she'll scrape off the marshmallow and eat it, but she's a little fussy about that. But I cooked that first because sweet potatoes probably, I love them, but they're probably the least popular of my dishes that I make on Thanksgiving. And the pie can sit. It has to sit some, but it can sit and cool. So I'm not losing a lot of quality value for having the pie. And then the sweet potato, already kind of also one that's fine sitting. It's okay to serve that one kind of more room temperature, or I can do a quick little reheat at the end. I am going to have to squeeze in a little bit of the browning up the pecans. So that's going to happen when the pie's in there too. I gotta fit all that in, basically. So that prep process is going to go down. Now I can brown the pecans at any point, really. I don't care that much about the temperature. They don't cook that long, but they just taste a little better. Oh, dangnabbit. I do not like this guy. Now, if you remember from our previous, actually, yeah, I think we did it last time. These guys, this is a bit of a pain because they're immune to our lightning. I guess they're just too grounded for it. So that'll be phase 1. That'll take me around in, well, it'll take a little bit of time. Okay, then in sort of phase 2, let's see, what will I do next? This is our last regular Blood Fury Harpy that we do. Now we gotta try to find the ambushers. There's another ambusher right there. So maybe while that's cooking, maybe I'll do the prep work for the stuffing. That's probably a good idea, because I need to get the turkey in pretty quick too. The turkey cooks at about the same temperature as that other stuff, but basically, I don't want the, you know, I don't like to cook my desserts. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'll prep. I also make German chocolate cake. So those are the two desserts. I'll do the German chocolate cake because I can't cook those things really with other stuff. I just don't like to put like a cake in there with a turkey or whatever. It's just weird. I don't want the flavors to kind of bleed into each other in the oven at the same time. So what I'll do is get the cake while the sweet potatoes and pumpkin pie are cooking. I'll make up the cake batter, and yeah, that's what we'll do. Okay, we got the ambusher. Yeah, I don't know that we'll get all 28. Because even as I talk like this, I'm starting to have like anxiety. Like, oh my gosh, I gotta get started. There's another ambusher over there. There's another one right there. And then while the cake is cooking, because it'll take a little bit of time, then I'll make the icing for the cake, which, if you don't know German chocolate cake, it's... So now Dad Party wants to kill. Okay, I did get hit by this storm person here. So cool, he says he is oh, that was another ambusher too. So I need 2 ambusher. All right, so oh, there you go. He's 1 ahead of me. So that's cool, and it'll be a better team up too with this guy, because now we sort of have a tank. I need 1 more ambusher. That's fine. We'll circle back. We can circle back for the ambushers. I'm really not sweating it. What will really hurt us is the well, the rogue feathers aren't that bad. Really, they're not that bad. It's just that you get these slayers and these yeah, see, he's just charging in. It's not a big deal because now he's got a healer at his back. And I will absolutely take them down as needed. Plus the 2 of us, I mean, we'll be okay. I will switch over to Flame Tongue Weapon though, so I can stop drawing, so I don't draw a threat off of him. Alright, so we need... There's... Oh, that's Sister Riven. I don't know. We could go for her.
It's too far away.
And then we have a second rogue right here. Lightning shield back up. I just used my shock, so... So these rogues, yeah, the rogues and the slayers are a couple levels higher on average. Really not too shabby. Oh, he's already got all his rogues. So that's fine. Maybe he's just grinding out for some XP, but the XP is not very good for these guys. There's a Slayer right there.
I'm out of range.
Oh, that curse. You jerk. Alright, so... it looks like they're all red, though, so we know we're looking for reds. Let's see if he wants to do that elite rare. I'm gonna switch him back over to Rocklighter because he's immune to my Flame Tongue weapon. I'm not hardcore either. We don't need this Storm Witch, but I guess we need to clear the area, sort of. I think I've killed that elite rare some. I just don't remember where it's at. Okay. Okay, so we pulled it a little bit, which is sufficient. Okay. Alright, so we did a little interrupt. Okay, so she's probably gonna get... Oh no, we did not pull both. That's great. Okay, cool. Yikes. I'll wait for her to start casting again. Ah, she resisted my stun. Let's drop my heals. And I'll swap over and heal him. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pop that potion. I'm gonna save my mana for heals. Okay, I'm sort of tanking her, so... Nailed her. Okay. Intellect and stamina? I'm gonna greed it, just because he... Even though that's a little bit of an upgrade, he won it, that's fine. Alright, so what we need now, I need the Slayers, really. Yeah, there we go. So does he. That's the main that he needs. So if I switch back over to Flame Tongue, he'll be... He should be good. What do we need? I need one more Ambusher, 3 more Rogue Feathers, and there's more on this side of the valley. The Slayers and Rogue Feathers will get Ambushers on the way out. So, because we got a good partner here, it's worth going over by a few, even though I do need to get out there and start cooking. I don't think it'll take us that long to clear it out. I don't like this at all. Said he can't keep up. That's pretty cool for me at 29 that he can't keep up with my DPS. Shaman are just OP, you know. I really love them. Like I've said before, my Resto Shaman on retail, especially at the lower levels, I very frequently top the charts of DPS. It's just par for the course. People don't like it, and you can be cool with it. I never understood why people would get so pissy about it. I'm the healer, so if the party is still living, instant reaction, she... instant reaction, I got cursed. That's annoying. Okay, we do... Remember, I needed 3. He's done with these. I needed 3. Cool. There's another Slayer right there. 2 Slayers. That's fine. Okay. He's got them slowed. Ah, crud. He's finished. Stupid Freaking. Stupid storm witches. Sons of witches. Daughters of witches. Oh, no, I forgot. They're turkeys. We're treating them as turkeys today. I'm gonna go ahead and dial it off on the flame shot for a minute while my mana regens. We both have this curse of recklessness. Oh, so we lose armor. We gain, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so... Ooh, nice. 5. Oh. So, did he need it too? Alright, so that's cool. So that's good. That I can't believe I have no rings with this character. So I just need one of each except for the generic ones. So, and then we'll be pretty much done. Time to wrap. There's one Slayer. I mean, really, I could finish it off on my own. I don't need him. I don't need him. It's fine. Okay. And now we need one. We need one ambusher and one rogue. There's. I don't need that kind. So we'll see about... Gotcha. Alright, so there's... But yeah, so this has been nice. We got a buddy who really helped us out today, and it really changed some of what we were gonna do. But it didn't change it too much. Oh, there goes that basilisk. My wife is particularly... Now, I think with a warrior sometimes you're just like, whatever. You know, you'll do whatever you feel like doing. But my wife is particularly bad about... We just need a rogue feather now. That's a regular harpy. She's so bad about pulls. Now she's probably about as bad as the guy that I'm with right now. But there's our rogue. With a warrior, at least you're like, well, that's just because they're used to charging and they do whatever the heck they want. Okay. So now we can get out of the valley. And, I mean, we could I'm not even gonna... Sure, I guess we'll turn in. Why not? Oops. So I dropped the stone earthbind totem. That was cool though. We had some good thing. I got a ring. We got a belt, which could make us stinking rich. And maybe not. Maybe it'll just be a nice little upgrade for Varrock. We'll take a peek at that. Off camera, I'll check that out. I'll fly. What I'll do is I'll also fly to Orgrimmar, so I can mess around. If nothing else, because we're gonna have one harpy quest left and then we will have where's the shortcut? Through here? Oh, I didn't. I've been back in there. I know there's sometimes a fire elemental that spawns in here. Is when you're super crazy thirsty for Incendicite, you learn where every single... I'm telling you that when we did the other episode, and it was... Where? I don't know where this shortcut is. Next hill over? Okay. I mean, I'm willing to learn this shortcut. Oh, next hill over. So, he says there's a short... Oh, I do. I see one. Cool. I see, and there's even little torches, so this is not even like an improvised shortcut. This is really... Oh, you can freaking cut right through? I cannot believe I've never seen this. I can't believe it. I've been doing this so long, and you could have not walked around, not wrapped around. You could just cut right into the valley. So, yeah, that's nice, I guess. I can't believe that. What? So, there you go. A nice way into the valley. This is crazy. And this is like the last character I have in this zone, so hopefully I remember it. Hopefully it sticks in my head. Alright, so we'll go turn in this quest. And, that's crazy. Ridiculous. That's yet another reason why it's so much better to quest with the Horde in this area. So we'll turn this in, and that'll be it for our Thanksgiving episode. A very special episode with Dad Party, and it was a Dad Party. Okay, so...
This is most excellent news. Tell me again how you cast fear into the cold hearts of those vile harpies. The Blood Furies have been dealt a serious blow. Limiting the number of Blood Fury harpies will not be enough. The only true cure for their disease would be to slay their leader, Blood Fury Ripper. She is all but a queen to those filthy creatures. Slay her, and their numbers will surely diminish. Go back into the Charred Vale and you will find her along the western hills.
Okay, so we have one chance to use our shortcut. Alright, so they basically say we need to go back and get the leader, and we'll get a cool belt because of it. And that's honestly pretty much it. We've got to go kill her, and then we will... we'll have to kill Ordinus and turn in that quest down in Southern Barrens. So... not today, we're not doing that, but we'll wrap this up in one level, one episode. Killing Blood Fury Ripper, that is not the end of it. The reserves, not that bad. And killing Ordinus, that will be the toughest, the tallest task that we have ahead of us. But yeah, so... Cool, I'm going to fly to Orgrimmar, we're going to post that thing on the auction house, and then I'll also, get my talents going. I'll at least post the auction house, try to do that today. Alright, cool, we got another episode in the pipe, 5x5. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and you have good food, and spend time with family and friends. And I look forward to seeing you all next time on the next episode of Lore of Warcraft. Go, 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 go.